to this very special edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace reporting live at the 13th annual Pittsburgh International Jazz Festival here at Highmark Stadium here in downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. One of the headlining artists is a gentleman who I've profiled and I've supported for many, many years, is pianist Orrin Evans. Now, Orin hails from Pennsylvania, and he's established a record label about 10 years ago, Imani Records. And now he's at a point in his life now where he wants to, one, make sure that the artists are in control of their publishing as well as their content, but also looking out and nurturing the business direction for these artists moving forward. At this year's 13th annual Pittsburgh International Jazz Festival presented by Citizens, Orin not only has his quintet featuring the great Bob Hurst as well as Nicholas Payton, but also he allowed his Imani artists to perform and share the spotlight. Here on this Pace Report, you're going to see highlights of his performances, as well as some of the Imani Artists All-Stars, as well as we sit down and talk about the Captain Black Big Band. Now, a couple of weeks ago at the Charlie Parker Jazz Festival in Harlem, he was one of the headlining artists with this big band, featuring special guests Belial and Grammy Award-winning vocalist Lisa Fischer. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of Mr. Orrin Evans, live performing at this year's 13th annual Pittsburgh International Jazz Festival, here presented by Citizens, here on the Pace Report, live at Highmark Stadium here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Big Small.
Brother, we go a long way back.
Yep.
You know, a lot of stuff we got to cover tonight, man. We got to talk about Imani Records. We got to talk about Captain Black. And we got to talk about other things, incidentals in the music, man. First of all, I want to congratulate you on, you've had this venture for well over a decade now, but now you just slide into it. Why you want to go full throttle with this now?
Why not? You know, and seeing what the industry is turning into as far as in the recording industry, now's the time to own it and have full ownership of it, and for the artist to grab back what we created. You know, it's also about legacy. My father was a playwright, and one of my favorite things to do is just like be able to Google my father and see some of the plays he wrote, people he worked with, read over those scripts. It's about creating a legacy, and I'm really excited about the legacy that's coming from all these other artists and helping that happen.
Orin, I've just been reading a lot of information lately, news about the streaming, how Spotify is really they're pimping all the artists out here. So you have to have so many thousands of streams to make money off of this. And how are musicians now waking up to what's happening, and what are some of the things you and other musicians are starting to do about this whole format of streaming?
Well, honestly, I'm thinking, I was talking with Michelle about it recently. Jason Moran just did his last record, and he did it only on Bandcamp, which is a great platform to sell records as an independent artist, because you only can get it from Bandcamp. But at the same time, that limits the outreach of the record. It doesn't reach everybody, and they're not physical copies. They're doing just Bandcamp. So you don't have the same thing of doing a record and then you wake up Tuesday and it's on YouTube. It's not going to happen if it's on Bandcamp. But the other part of it is, I don't look at the record industry as making money that way. To me, I look at it as creating a way for people to know about you, to go out and perform live. The live performance is where you're going to make the money.
Right.
And then selling the CDs, they're just souvenirs at that point. You know, that's how I look at it. You buy the record, that's great. Here's a souvenir, it's great. Or you download it. But what I'm more concerned about is creating an opportunity for people to be seen live and in living color. So the record industry and the record business creates that pathway, in my opinion, of how to do it. It's like, okay, well, who is this person? I don't know Michelle Lordy, so I look at the record. Now I know who she is. I want to go see her live. I don't know who Jonathan Michelle is. I don't know who Tina Raymond is. I don't know who Orrin Evans is. But now I don't know who Caleb is. But now I do, and I want to go see them live. So my thing is more using the records to create an interest for people to want to go see them live.
It's interesting you brought up Jason, because Jason put all the music on vinyl too. Mm-hmm. We now know about the resurgence of, and the economics of vinyl now. It's back and it's not going anywhere. How do you see that as a resurrection to owning the physical copy of the music, ownership? How do you?
Well, whether it's on vinyl, CD, cassette, Betamax, that doesn't matter. The format that it's on, it doesn't matter. It just matters if you own the master, and if you own your work. But for me, the vinyl thing is great, but as I just said, I'm thinking more about playing live. And when I was a member of the Bad Plus, we spent so much money dragging vinyl around in another suitcase that was, cost whatever, because it was overweight.
Right.
So my thing is, again, not so much about, vinyl's gonna make this money, CDs are gonna make this money. I just want to present the music, to present the artist, and then come see us live. Let us all work on our live show. Let's get people going back out to hear music. The record is, for me, the record industry is a way to just introduce who we are. If you look back at some of the early records, introducing Wayne Shorter, introducing blah, blah, blah. All our first and second, it was like, we just want to introduce you. this is who I am, now come to the gig. You know, because 90% of the time, unless it's a live record, what I did on the record is what I did on the record.
Right.
But what I'm gonna do live, and what a lot of artists are gonna do live, is gonna be on a whole nother level. So come out. The record is, for me, is just, here I am, now come on out and see me live.
In choosing these artists, how did you choose the people that you're gonna, or the artists that you put on Imani?
I don't know if there's these are my friends. You know, before they're artists on Imani, all of these are my friends. You know, I mean, I can go back with Jonathan Michelle. My wife is also a realtor. Jonathan helped us practically rehab houses, and we were painting porches and talking 10, 15 years ago, talking about what we were going to do. I met Michelle at a little small club in Philadelphia, and she became my friend. I didn't meet her and say, oh, this is, you know, a great vocalist, because I didn't really know her like that. I got to know her as a friend and an Aries. She was an Aries too. Anyway, got to know her, you know, like that. Same thing. I met Tina when I flew out to LA and did a gig with Caleb and Eric Rivas. So, and then I went out to her school and did. So these are friends. And then we decided to do a record together. You know, I'm not going to do a record with anybody that I wouldn't have at my house for a party. You know,
right?
So it's not like, oh, I mean, I guess they would want to hear that, oh, I think they're an exceptional musician. Yeah, that too. But I actually appreciate all these people as human beings first. So that's what's important to me.
You know, you are doing a lot. I mean, this is a lot. Does Imani Records have a Bandcamp page? How can people pick up and listen or buy or purchase your artists?
Imani Records, what is it? ImaniRecordsMusic.com. And that takes us right to our Bandcamp page, and everything's on there. It's also, we have a great distributor, so they can still be found on Apple Music and all those other formats. But I encourage you to go to Bandcamp, because that's the best way to, if you really want to support the artist, go directly to Bandcamp.
You know, a couple weeks ago, you were one of the headliners for the Charlie Parker Jazz Festival in Harlem. And I happened to look at the footage about a week ago, and I told you, this is something that, one, cannot be replicated, and two, this is something that's special. Are you going to record that?
Oh, I really want to. You know, the opportunity. That's another thing. You know, that I've been blessed. The oopses, the mistakes, because that was supposed to be a gig with Diane
Reeves, right?
And she couldn't make it. And within, I think, it was a week, if that, a week before, I called Lisa Fischer's people, and she was able to do it. And she was just ridiculous. And of course, Bilal, who I've known since he was 12 years old. But, you know, big band is a whole nother thing. But I would love to get the big band in the studio with someone like Lisa Fischer, Bilal, Diane Reeves, and that's the next goal, because now we have books that include those people. We have Diane Reeves' tunes in the book. We have Lisa Fischer's tunes in the book. You know, so the goal is to continue and just build the book, so then when they say, do you have this project? We do, because we did a Charlie Parker project with Gary Bartz. We did a Thelonious Monk project with Bruce Barth. So it's really just, when the time comes, we got it. You know, as Ralph Peterson used to say, stay ready so you don't have to get
Be ready, that's
yeah.
right, yes. Writing for Captain, the big band.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about musically, sonically, and what are some of the things that you look for in, because you have had an open door of great musicians that played in that big band. What do you see in that?
That's the same thing with Imani. I mean, these are also my friends. We started the band in 09, you know, 2009. So.
You remember when we did the first interview on that?
Yeah.
Was that at the Jazz Gallery?
Yeah, that was at the Jazz Gallery.
You were just in the infancy of working that out.
Yeah.
And now we're here. How do you, because I'm just telling you, people were in shell shock once they left that performance.
I mean, that's also about the beautiful people that I'm blessed to be around. You know, that rhythm section. You know, it's, if the big band doesn't have a good rhythm section, we're gonna have an issue. And with Anwar and Mark Whitfield Jr. and Luquez, it's just always, I know it's gonna be on this level, starting there with the rhythm section. Then, you know, the horns are all, that's family. That's family, you know, and forcing Caleb to play tenor, and Dane plays alto.
Right.
Well, you know, it's just some beautiful things happening in that band. As far as the tunes, you know, David Gibson, Todd Bayshore, Josh Lawrence are the three main arrangers for the band, and I've done some myself too, but it's more so having people arrange for the big band so that it doesn't sound like a big band. You know, I've never been a fan of big bands. I mean, I don't
really,
nobody, like, you know, I don't know if any of us were really fans of big bands.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the thing was to make the big band operate like a small group and sound like that. And where you don't feel like I just got to do my part. You do your part and you become a part of the party. You become a part of the whole situation. So with those arrangers and arrangements that I do, it's more about making it operate like a small group, although it looks and it is a big group, but we're all one.
Kind of like Thad Jones and
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to share this next song with you all. You want the hat? The hat can be bought at a place called Essential on East 4th Street, Manhattan. He's a lovely guy. All alone, on my knees I pray for the strength to stay away in and out and in you go. I feel your fire, then I lose myself. is a fool for pain, but I used to love you again. How can I fix the pain when I know you're coming back again? How can I fix the pain in my heart? My heart. You come here, boy. Tell me, baby, why you're here. I can't take it. No, baby. Give me all, nothing at all. When I know you're coming back again, how can I lose the pain in my heart? How can I lose the pain when I know you're coming back again? How can I lose the pain in my I need to know how can I ease out. God, help me easy.
This ensemble you've had for years, Bob Hurst, Mark Whitfield, and Nicholas Payton. This is a unit that every time I see it, you guys, like even last night in the jam session, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Can Nick play any further out than this? Why this core of musicians?
Well, when the record date came about, honestly, the band was supposed to be Terry Lynn, Robert Hurst, Gary, and Nick. Then Terry couldn't do it, and I stayed in that environment of like my big brothers and sisters. All of those people, when I moved to New York, were just maybe 5 and 10 years older than me, but they showed me the way, whether it was Ralph Peterson, Terry Lynn, Gene Jackson, Marvin Smitty Smith. So this record was like my tribute to my big brothers and sisters. I didn't get a chance to do a record with Ralph before he passed, another record with Ralph before he passed. We intended to do it and we couldn't do it. So that drum chair was going to be someone from that generation. But if it wasn't Terry, it was going to be Smitty. It was going to be Ralph. It was going to be Gene. So I got Smitty.
A young lion.
Yeah,
You're going to have a young
exactly.
lion. Yeah.
So I got Gene on half of it, and also Smitty. Robert Hurst, that's somebody we've been threatening to play together for years. We played together years ago with Terry. We played together one other time and just never worked out where we could do it. And it's a blessing not only to get to know him on the bandstand, but off the bandstand too. Just a really beautiful person. Gary was supposed to be on my record in 2001, and he ended up going out, I think, with Jack DeJohnette. And then so time went on and we were never able to connect, and this situation came up and it was like, I gotta call Gary. So, and Nick, that's my brother, you know what I mean? So putting that all together, this is just family and people I've always wanted to play with, the whole record. But then, honestly, last night, we were talking about just watching it morph into a band. Because at first it wasn't, it's just 5 people I called, But slowly watching it just materialize into everybody getting comfortable with not only the material, but getting comfortable with knowing me and what I'm about. It's really great watching it grow.
I've noticed a different playing style of Orrin Evans as of the last couple of years. What have you been doing, man? You've been shedding differently. You've been thinking differently. What's been going on?
I don't know if it's a shedding thing, but it is definitely a being comfortable with the person that I see in the mirror, and that's not easy to do as a musician. Because I will never forget when I first moved to New York and I went to Smalls because Eric Lewis had just started running the session, so he called me and said, "Man, you need to come up to New York more." I said, "You know what? Come." So I started going to New York, but then I did this first session, and everybody was there. Smalls used to have a little upright piano. So everybody's there and I'm playing, and I just instantly felt like the light was shining on me and I wasn't playing like they were used to hearing. No one sounded like what I was used to hearing. The drummers had a different look. Bass players had a different look than what I was used to hearing in Philly. So then I came to New York and I'm like, okay, I gotta sound like them. I gotta sound like this. I gotta do this. But after almost 30 years, I'm comfortable with the voice that I was given, and comfortable with learning how to develop that voice. You know, so if it's shedding anything, it's shedding on being comfortable in my own skin.
Will there be a solo Orrin Evans piano record?
There is one already soon to come out. You know, Caleb produced it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's coming out soon.
That'll do it again for this very special edition of the Pace Report. Reporting live here at Highmark Stadium, here for this year's 13th annual Pittsburgh International Jazz Festival presented by Citizens. I'd like to personally thank the incomparable Orrin Evans for his time. Make sure you support Orin and all the acts on Imani Records. For more information, you can find him online, as well as follow him on social media by way of Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, I'd like to personally thank and congratulate Miss Janice Burley, the artistic director for this year's 13th annual Pittsburgh International Jazz Festival, for putting on a fantastic festival, as well as her staff and management for assisting me all weekend. I personally also want to give a mad shout out to Miss Clairlyn McClare for Clairlyn McClare Public Relations for assisting me all weekend for this year's Pittsburgh International Jazz Festival. As always, people, I can't stress this more than enough. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos here on YouTube and Vimeo, as well as leave comments. Also, people, please follow me on social media by way of Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Reporting live from Highmark Stadium for this year's 13th Pittsburgh International Jazz Festival presented by Citizens. This is Paceface Brian Pace. And remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace.